We'll start here because I want to. Thanks, Roy. So you just said you want to you want to get your nipples tattooed and have a chain go into your taint.
Yeah, I just want to be
get
different.
your gooch tattooed
Or
your gooch pierced.
Yeah, why not?
Man,
I want to be different. I want to separate myself from everybody else.
And you want to separate your taint with a piercing.
I just want a pretty tattoo artist to be playing with my butthole. I'm kidding. I don't want my taint pierced.
Well, maybe you'll date. Maybe you'll marry a girl who's a tattoo artist.
A girl can only hope.
She can tongue your taint while she's piercing it.
That would hurt. I remember watching that episode of a Jackass when they were doing something right for the testicle Bible clap, and then they pierced Steve-O's butt.
Which one was that?
It's probably the TV show, but they pierced his butt cheek and
the whole butt cheek.
Yeah. Well, they just pitched a little bit.
Okay, so they didn't put a ring, like a giant ring through his entire right cheek.
Oh, but I remember it hurt me watching it, and I was just like, I don't ever want to pierce anything else. Yeah. I've got enough body modifications as it is.
Well, you have the ultimate body modification.
Yes, I went overboard.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the Breaking Hyman podcast. My guest, my friend, Russell Cooper.
The one and only, the Russell Cooper, not a Russell Cooper.
Not a Russell Cooper. I'm sure there's another couple of y'all.
I don't know. The world's not so lucky.
There was another Morgan Hyman in this town.
Really?
She is no longer named that, though, because she is no longer married to a man whose last name is Hyman. So I am now the one and only. I don't think her middle name was Kenneth. And the only reason that I know she exists is for two reasons. I know her brother, who's a drummer here in town.
Right.
And she also worked at a store that my ex-wife used to shop at. So I won't give any more personal information. I already said what her name is. But her name is the same name as my name.
I don't know if there is another Russell Cooper. I just know that Russell is a very unique individual name. And
it is not super. I'm sure it's more common for your age group than guys in their 20s. I don't meet any Russells in their 20s.
That are Braden or...
Yeah, there's a lot of...
Yeah. Like Protestant names.
Yeah. What is the origin of the name Russell? I'm guessing it's English.
Well, it means red-headed fox, which used
Scottish?
to be... I don't know. I've never done that. I know Cooper...
You never used Google?
Cooper is... I only Googled it once, and it means red-headed fox.
Okay.
And my last name means barrel maker. So I'm a red-headed foxy barrel maker.
Okay.
And my dad's family came from England and Germany and all over, so I don't know. We never really talked about it a whole lot.
We're all the Heinz 57. See, you got that eye tie in you. Yeah. So that's a little bit unique. That's because, if you have any kind of non-English speaking country in you, or Irish.
Right.
I think people Irish pride, Italian pride. I think it goes back to Catholicism and people being discriminated against, but because they were Catholic and people didn't want papists.
Well, that's one of the cool things about being Italian, because I don't really know any other, except for the Irish. There is no really other ethnicity or country where people are just so jazzed up about being Italian.
Well,
it's like, you're hey, paisan.
Well, there's no other country that's pretty much just white people.
Right.
Because, by and large, Italians are just white people. You've got the Sicilians that are a little darker because of the Moors and all that. We all know the speech from True Romance.
Well, if you were to
where
talk
Christopher Walken shoots Dennis Hopper in the head.
The Sicilians respond by... But if you were to talk to my grandma, she'll tell you Sicilians are not Italian, and Italians are not Sicilians.
You have said this. What was your grandmother's opinion on that? What did she say?
Sicilians are pigs. They brought the black hand to the world. They brought that.
The black hand. That's the mafia,
the
right?
Cosa Nostra.
Cosa Nostra.
And it's old school Italians. I don't necessarily think that it's so much believed that way anymore. But my grandma's generation, Sicilians were pigs.
Well, her generation was, she was probably the same generation as all the Italian mobsters that, gave Italians kind of a bad name.
Well, that's true. Well, and she would not watch The Godfather.
Really?
She's like, we built this country, and everybody thinks we just go around and jump.
We built this city on rock and roll, Russell.
Built this city. They were. Grace Slick was Italian.
Really?
No,
I didn't know Slick. Well, Slick like olive oil.
Well, he's full of jokes. This guy.
Yeah, sure.
But no, I mean, it's like it was a thing there for a while, and I just remember growing up that the old joke that Sicily is the piece of shit at the bottom of the boot.
Okay, interesting.
And but no, it's just I don't know that the Italy is like America. It's cut in half, and the northern part is more affluent and looks down on the southern part for being less affluent. And so the further down you go, shit just rolls downhill.
Interesting. Or rolls down the boot, as it were.
But Sicily is beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, I remember.
I watched The Sopranos when they went there. That was fucking great.
And White Lotus, the second season.
Oh, yeah, that is in
I
Sicily.
mean, it's a beautiful, very troubled, very...
Oh, and that one girl, the one who fucks the dad and the son.
The women are dangerous in any culture. But no...
Well, the female of the species is always deadlier than the male.
So, and one of my grandma's dreams for me was to find a nice Italian girl, and I found one, but I haven't really met her yet. But that's why I love the Latinas so much, because
that's the next best thing.
It's the next best thing. Similar culture, similar beliefs, similar styles. If you're
similar asses,
big old fat booties, and if you treat them right, you'll never have a hard day in your life.
Well, I hope to have a lot of hard days but you
treat them bad, they'll cut you.
Oh yeah, I know that. No, I was married to one of those white women that she was just, you know what? Let's not talk about that. Right? Let's have a podcast where I don't talk about my fucking ex-wife.
Exit out.
So, Russell, how long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
I have been, and I think I'm right at a year.
Yeah, I think you're
11 months and 12 months. It seems like I just started, which I had, but I'm kind of slowly getting my foot underneath me.
Yeah, just one.
Just had a nice show at Two Docs last Saturday.
Shout out Curtis to putting that together.
Thank you, Curtis, for bringing me out there, and the crowd was wonderful. Two Docs was wonderful, and that was, I think, my third paying show, third big show, and each one just keeps getting better, and the confidence has always been there. It's just the jokes and the timing and getting it down, or
watching how much comfortable you are on stage and ironing out the jokes and smoothing things out. It's really been cool.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the Breaking Hyman podcast, but we also kiss some asses occasionally.
Well, I need to hear that, because it beats having to go out and ask for compliments, because
the thing is, and I'm not going to name names, but a lot of and it's not just Lubbock comedy, it's everywhere. Comedians kind of have this thing where they shit on each other.
Right.
Like, oh, we're shitting on it. No, like, if somebody's doing good, you need to tell them they're doing good. Like, I'm not going to blow smoke up somebody's ass and tell them they're great when they're not.
Well, how are you going to get better if everybody lies to you?
Yeah, no, I mean, and some, I mean, a lot of comedians just kind of think it's their job to just discourage other people from doing this. And if it's a stranger, if it's somebody I don't particularly like, yeah, sure, right. I'll discourage them from doing this. I'll not outright be a dick, but maybe subtly. Right. But by and large, I like most of the people that come around and do comedy in Lubbock.
I grew up watching stand-up comedy shows.
Yeah.
The MTV half-hour comedy hour.
Oh yeah, they had a lot of stand-up. I mean, they had like Jon Stewart on early.
Drew Carey was on there. Dave Chappelle was on the HBO series,
Def Comedy
Jam. And
I never understood, because none of those comics were deaf. They were mostly black.
It was so
it's really weird. I don't know why they didn't call it Black Comedy Jam.
I don't remember seeing any caucasoids on there either, but I'm sure there were.
What's a caucasoid?
Honkies.
Oh, Caucasians.
For us, by us.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it was just, but this has been one of the most supportive groups that I've ever been around.
Well, it's because I'm part of it.
Well, that's true. We're nurturing. Yeah, Sagittarius at heart.
It's funny. There's a I don't want to get libelous or anything, but there's a dumb, stupid motherfucker piece of shit who's been around Lubbock comedy for a while, and he was in a group chat with a lot of us, and he was just being a crazy asshole, and I run one of the open mics, and he was telling Cameo. Cameo just texted me. That he wasn't telling Cameo, he was telling somebody else this. And then word got back to Cameo. She's like, he's saying that he thinks everyone's afraid of me. Everyone's afraid and that's why they've shunned him. Like, no, they shunned you because you're a dick and a crazy person. I've given no one any reason to ever be afraid of me, ever. I mean, like, that's insane. That's just like crazy that he would think. Like, he doesn't look at his own behavior and be like, oh, I'm a piece of shit and that's why nobody likes me. It's not because Morgan is telling people, oh, don't associate with this person. Like, that's fucking stupid.
I've known you for 9 years, and I don't think fear of you has ever crossed my mind.
No. I mean, if I had a gun, sure, I want people to fear me. But no, I'm not a scary person.
No.
I mean, I am tall and big, so I could, if I had to, if worse came to worse, I could use my size. But anybody gets to know me? No, I am not a person that instills any kind of fear or.
We're lovers. We're not fighters.
Exactly. I'm a joker. I'm a joker. I'm a smoker. I'm a midnight toker.
I'm Russell the poker. I couldn't resist.
So we've talked a lot about the leg. If for those that don't know, Russell is an elective elective
amputee.
Yes, you elected. You were like, I don't like my left leg. Just take it off. But just the part below the knee.
I'm all about body modifications, and I really was interested in handicap parking. So I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and take it off.
You should do a body mod joke. You're like, I've got the ultimate body mod. All you fuckers with your tattoos and piercings, look at me.
With those people that got those big spacers in their ears, and their nose pierced to their nipple, to their taint or whatever.
Yeah, we're just saying you wanted to have that done.
Well, just like for shock value. I couldn't imagine how bad that would hurt.
Well, if you raise if you like are doing sit-ups, it'd probably hurt real bad.
Every time I see that, every time I watched Airheads.
Oh, when Chris Farley pulls out that guy's nipple ring.
I see that. And I've ripped body parts off, and I couldn't imagine my nipples are
the one in particular. So you did lose your leg at 9 years old.
April 13th, 1985, I was with my best friend, and we were celebrating a very odd circumstance, a coming of life situation for most people.
Well, you should preface this.
So my best friend, Nathan Young, shout out to him. And he was
he's still with us.
He's still with us.
He's still got both legs.
He's very successful. He lives in Houston. Ooh. He's married to a former New Orleans Saints cheerleader, and
doing you didn't tell me that.
Doing very well for himself.
Yeah,
and he was my partner from birth. And that Friday night, we'd spent the night at my house and stayed up all night watching movies. And we were in third grade. He was in fourth grade, so we were both 9 and 10. But we had saw our first vagina in Revenge of the Nerds.
And honestly, you don't really see any spread lip action. You just see a hairy beef.
We've got bush.
It's funny how, like, I remember whenever I was in high school, I had a VHS tape of a dirty movie that it wasn't anything like, it wasn't X-rated, but I showed it to my friend, and and it was from the 80s. This woman had a big fucking bush. Yeah. I think the movie was called like Perfect Timing or something. Right. It was one of those like titty comedies that, was direct to video kind of thing.
Hard bodies.
And yeah, exactly. That kind of thing. Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And this woman is walking around, and my friend's like, I thought you said she was totally naked in this. And I'm like, yeah, she is. She's just got a big fucking bush. He thought she was wearing underwear.
And I guess that's why it left an imprint on me, because some people like the shaved, some people like the landing strip, some people like the Hitler. I don't mind a bush. I mean, I don't want to.
Once I like ladies. I mean, I've got my preferences, but I'm just trying to get my foot in the door with the lady, and then we can talk about
foot in the door as we're talking about being amputated.
So sorry to interrupt, so you watched Revenge of the Nerds, you saw your beaver,
and so we were just all gassed up, and we're like, what are we going to do to go celebrate? And we was like, let's go ride your 3-wheeler.
Fucking riding 3-wheelers. That's the best way to celebrate seeing some nudity on TV.
Yeah, you're 9 years old. You know.
Was it on cable or
it was on VHS?
Nice.
And I've noticed too that there are 2 separate versions of it because
really,
like if you notice, like I noticed little difference. Like whenever they're walking to go look from the house, there's like 35 seconds that's cut out because there was a lot of stuff that happened in the gym.
Interesting.
And then there's an interesting I guess in the new adapted version they go from boom to automatically walking down with the sign that
is strange. There's a lot of movies from the 80s where there would be like a TV edit and there would be a video edit because there was a version of the Swamp Thing, you probably heard this, that has like Adrienne Barbeau naked in it, like a lot more, and you see it had a PG rating on the box and people would rent it for their kids thinking, oh, it's a comic book movie, and then you see like Adrienne Barbeau's titties.
I tried for the longest time to hold my residual limb up to the stump, and it never grew back.
Yeah,
up to the light, like
Swamp Thing joke. Yeah.
Swamp Thing joke.
God, Alex. What is Alex?
And then that just I never wanted to go into a swamp after that.
Oh yeah, no. You know they shot that whole movie in South Carolina. I think it's supposed to take place in Louisiana, but they found a swampy place. It was in South Carolina. They shot that whole thing.
And then that fat bald guy that was the henchman and. He died a horrible death, and
I like part 2 too. It's goofy as fuck, but I like part 2 with Heather Locklear.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, it's good. It was on Amazon Prime for a little while.
I wonder if the Swamp Thing is what gave birth to Toxic Avenger.
No, well, okay, maybe because the Swamp Thing comics. I don't know. I think they were independent ideas. I mean, you got one character that's like a scientist from the swamp, and then one is just a fucking 90-pound nerd, that gets bullied into toxic waste.
I think that's a hell of a lot better way to get your superpowers than getting bit by a radioactive spider. And I know that's going to piss some of you off, but I'm a purist. Superman is the only superhero that matters. Batman is a bored billionaire.
This is a hot take.
Spider-Man is a fucking 15-year-old middle school photographer with a heart on, and Aquaman's a fucking dildo that swims with fishes. Superman, and I don't want to hear about Flash. I don't want to hear about...
Oh, no, Flash sucks.
This, that, or the other. Wolverine is badass.
Oh, yeah.
And then Superman, forget about it. You can't change my mind.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm not trying to.
So
I have no dog in this fight. This is not a hill I'm willing to die on.
See, I was heavily medicated in those years. You read comic books, and so
so you're just sitting in a hospital bed reading comics, and you're like, "Oh, this is bullshit." Except Superman.
I was all morphined out and hitting on nurses.
Okay, so back to riding 3-wheelers on April 13th, 1985.
We were riding around, and the area that I grew up in was being developed.
For those that are from Lubbock, which I think is most of our viewers, it was
the mean streets of Lake Ridge.
Yeah, it was in Lake Ridge, over near where the Blue Sky is.
Blue Sky. It was the 17th hole on the Lake Ridge golf course.
Shout out.
And some other horrible incidences happened out there.
We'll talk about that later.
But so anyway, we were out there. There was the house that we were at. There were 2 empty lots, and on one empty lot they had a bunch of jumps and a big hill.
Yeah,
and you could do agility exercises or whatever.
This is a 9-year-old's dream. 3-wheeler. Yeah. There were R-rated movies on VHS
and teenage girls.
Yeah, exactly. You were living the dream, man. For a brief moment in time.
For a brief moment, and then it became a nightmare. But and then right along the golf cart path to go to the other side, it had whoop-de-woos on it, which if you don't know what whoop-de-woos are, they're little bitty bumps. They're like ski moguls, confidence courses or whatever. Yeah. And then it led to the other side, and there were similar things.
So did a lot of kids in Lake Ridge have 3-wheelers or dirt bikes that they would go and ride in this area?
No, most of the people when I was there were not a lot of kids, and if they were younger than myself.
Okay.
This was 1985.
There happened to be some older kids with a bigger 3-wheeler.
So there were some middle school to high school kids that were out there, and they had a big 350. And so I had a little bitty 75 that every time I got in trouble with my dad would turn the governor down, which is what controls the speed.
So your dad would be like, Russell, you're going slower now.
Yes.
You can have fun, but not as much fun.
And what got me in trouble ended up saving my life in hindsight, because I never would wear my helmet. I hated wearing my helmet.
It was the 80s. You look like a dork in a helmet.
Because I got a big-ass melon head, too.
Yeah, that's true.
And so he got tired of it, and so my three-wheeler went about 15 miles an hour. And so the big kids were like, "Hey,
that's gay.
That's
15.
That's
I can walk
super
that
gay.
Fast.
That's two dicks and
yeah.
That's really gay." So the big kids were like, "Hey, man, we want to ride your three-wheeler. Let's switch." So
they wanted to ride the little one.
So me and Nathan were like, "Hell yeah, got to see some pussy. Now we're gonna get to see some action on the big time three-wheeler." And so we rode it for the day, and I had my lemon yellow bell helmet on, and I was just so excited and so egotistical and pissed off and happy all at the same time. And it got to the point in the afternoon, it was getting around 2-3 o'clock, I guess. Okay. And Nathan wanted to drive the three-wheeler. And I was being a little selfish asshole. I said, "Hell no, I'm driving." And we got into a big argument, and he got off.
Okay.
So after he got off, I proceeded to go down the golf cart path ramp. And then I can vividly remember the back wheels teeter-tottering like that. And I stood up, and I lost control. And from the moment the accident happened, is gone. I don't have any recollection of that at all.
Right. But it was all pretty instantaneous.
It was instantaneous. And the next thing I remember is coming to, I was on the ground covered in scratches.
You know,
the three-wheeler was behind me to the left, left, and it was laying on its throttle.
Okay.
And I just remember I came to, and I was kind of dazed and confused. I was like, "Oh, Jesus, they're going to make fun of me because I busted."
Yeah.
And I scratched my head, and my helmet, which Bell helmets are sold as indestructible.
Oh, really?
Had split down the middle and was just laying like a cracked open eggshell. So that, having said that, that's what saved my life the first time, because had I not had that on, Morgan would be here with a different amputee. And so,
I might be here with, I don't know,
with an asshole.
Well, that woman that Paul McCartney was married to,
or that lady up at the Adolph's that's real bitter and mean and has the hook leg because she's a bitch, so I fuck her. But
exactly. If you're a one-legged lady, you should fuck at least one-legged dude.
Most amputees are cool, but she's not one of them. And I don't know her name, but fuck you.
I don't think she watches this podcast.
Yeah. So I didn't realize what had happened. Sorry, my nose is running. I didn't realize that the accident had occurred, and so I stood up and I tried to walk. And
so you were probably in shock at this point.
I guess I was, without even knowing what was really going on.
So you tried to stand up, and then what happened?
I stood up, and I thought I was in a hole because I just busted my ass. I fell face forward. And was
your leg attached at all at this point?
So the calf, the only thing that was basically attached was my artery. And so
it's insane you didn't bleed out, dude.
Well, had I rotated, they said if I would have rotated it a quarter inch more than what I had, it would have popped that artery.
And you would have bled out right there.
And since we were in a brand new division of Lake Ridge, the ambulance got lost.
Oh, fuck a duck.
And what was my saving grace, my best friend who just passed away a few months ago, Jeff Robbins, miss you, Southpaw. His mom was a baby doctor, the pediatrician. And they went out for a walk, and they were riding a bike. And by the grace of God, they had driven by on their bike right after it had happened.
That's got to be the most insane thing to roll up on, is a 9-year-old who just got his leg ripped off on a three-wheeler. That's like, no one is prepared to see that.
She came out, and she was a gangster. I can remember it vividly because
probably her doctor brain.
Her doctor brain kicked in.
Yeah,
I was holding my leg into my chest. I had a big, huge puddle on my chest, and these golfers that were out there were drunk. It was in the middle of the afternoon. Was
it on Saturday?
And it was Saturday, April 13th, 1985. And they were very, very misogynistic, like, "Get out of here, lady. we got this under control. And she's like,
we can tie this kid's leg back on.
She was like, I'm a fucking
Doctor.
Get your asses out of here and blah, blah. Let me do what I got to do. And so she administered a tourniquet right then and there.
Nice.
And I was just out of my mind because I was in shock. And if you've never been in shock before, it's horrible because you're paralyzed with fear and whatever. It's your brain's way of protecting you, but you're cognizant of what's going on. But I just felt like this. It was like being on a whip is and everything's kind of slowed down in motion. So we lived 2 blocks away from, and then so that I didn't. I'm skipping ahead. So Nathan was about 15 yards away from where I was at.
Yeah.
And he was just standing there and he was like a Spanish soap opera. He's like, your leg. Yeah. And I looked down and I saw my calf muscle pulsating like this.
God.
And the cartilage that rolls down this, it ruined me because I'm Italian, I'm a guinea, I'm a fucking wop. And I love lasagna. Give me good pie lasagna. The muscle of the side of my leg looked like a lasagna noodle. And so there was blood all over the place, and I was holding my leg up to my chest.
You got ragu everywhere.
Yeah, so I got some medical all over me. And just laying there flipping out. And we lived 2 blocks away from where the accident happened.
Okay.
9306 Salisbury. And my grandmother was living with us because she was recovering from a heart attack. She answered the phone. And
had another heart attack.
And all they told my mom was, Russell's broken his leg.
You broke your leg.
I had broken his leg. I ripped that son of a bitch off and forever changed the course of Russelltude. And
damn, yeah, that does change the course of your life.
When my mom would get nervous or excited or scared, she would laugh uncontrollably.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, I'm going to be grounded for life. My parents are going to beat the shit out of me because this is 1980s. You hit your kids back then.
Yeah, or you threw a lawn dart at them.
Rightfully so. And so I heard her coming up and I heard her laughing. Wow. And we're surrounded by all these doctors. And through the course of the...
So the ambulance shown up yet?
Not yet. No. So one of the golfers had a drink in his hand.
Yeah.
And when he bent over to see how I was doing... He spilled his drink all over.
He had an MGD or something, and like a Bud Dry, some 80s beer.
It didn't even smell good, and so he spilled it all over me. So, like I said, I was holding my leg up to my chest and had a big, huge puddle of blood on my chest.
Sure, yeah.
On my Kiss shirt, on my Peter Criss shirt.
You were wearing a Kiss shirt back then, too?
I was. and they cut it off in the emergency room. I told them, don't cut it off.
Bitches.
And so my mom comes through and she's like, get away, let me get in there. And she's just laughing. And I hear like, oh my God, Russell, baby, why the fuck does he smell like beer? And the golfer stood up and goes, oh man, that's my fault. I spilled a little beer on him. And she stood up and she goes, who the fuck are you? And hauled off and smacked the guy in the face.
I'm the sheriff, Sonny Cassine.
And she was just wrecking shop like and I'm just sitting there,
wow,
no leg, bleeding out, thinking that I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to be grounded for life if I survive. And my mom's knocking people out left and right because they spilled beer on her baby.
She punched this guy.
She knocked the shit out of him.
Good for her.
And Susan, big ups to Susan. She was a gangster.
Yeah.
And she just knocked that guy out and then just went into mama bear mode. And then the ambulance showed up. And it was just, it's amazing what happens when you fuck yourself up like that. Because, I mean, it just like everything stops. Everything stands still. Mm-hmm. You know what's going on. You're in a lot of pain. You're scared to death. But
yeah.
You know, you just, and then the ambulance showed up, and then, they had to pick my leg up to get me on the backboard. And I was wearing Velcro shoes, blue Velcro Massimo shoes.
Oh, wow.
Mizuno, excuse me. I don't know.
No British Knights.
No British Knights. Oh, fuck no. I'm not gay.
Those shoes sucked.
Yeah. The poor shoes came later on in life because after the accident, as I got older, they reattached my leg that night.
That night. My doctor was on call, Dr. C, S-E-A-Y, and he was awesome.
I wanted to punch him in the face after the fact. Like a couple years later, we were in Jason's Deli.
Yeah.
And I ran into him and we were talking. And I was like, Dr. C, have you ever seen anything like my leg, blah, blah, blah? Because he's an orthopedic surgeon. Of course he had. And he goes, oh, Russell, I'll be honest with you. I just wanted to make a name for myself. I just got through with my residency, so I just wanted to see if I could put your leg back on.
It's crazy that they let him, like the overseeing doctor let him, a young dude, do that.
And he did it. And
it lasted for what, 20-something years?
That was 9, and when I hit 30, I elected to amputate.
Yeah, so you've had your leg off nearly 20 years?
Yes, because my niece was 1 year old when it happened, and she just turned 18. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, amputate from the amputation. No, excuse me. Yeah, she was 18 or 1 year old when I amputated it.
Oh, so, she was okay. Okay, got it.
But I don't remember ever really walking around without pain or without any kind of discomfort.
And you've told me this, and I just know this from conversations with you. The leg did not grow like it was supposed to after it was reattached.
The shin was stronger than my right shin.
Where exactly was the amputation?
Below the knee.
Yeah, it's below the knee. But it was ripped off.
My calf.
Yeah. So how much did they take off? Any residual?
So whenever you get an amputation, you don't cut it.
Yeah, no, I've heard. Yeah, they do it sideways so they can fold the skin back on, and
they folded it up, and it looked like an egg roll for the longest time.
Oh, you're a leg roll.
Yeah, a leg roll.
I'm so sorry, Russell.
That's why he's the king comic of Lubbock. You're leaving.
No, I'm fucking not.
And a leg roll, fried rye.
Oh god, let's not be too racist here.
And,
but
the shin, the leg itself was like concrete, but the problem was all the damage happened and it manifested in my ankle and my foot.
Oh, so that's where a lot of the damage. Okay.
So, and my foot grew 1/4 of an inch from 1985 until we amputated. And
so you had your right leg, your right foot just grew like normal.
Was
and
11.
And then your ankle and your
was a 7.
Yeah, so 11 on your right foot in the size 7.
In a size 7.
Yeah.
And you know what they say about men with 2 different size feet, don't you?
They have 2 different size balls? I don't know.
It's hard to buy shoes.
Oh.
But no, it was really crazy. My mom, so one of the other funny stories, my mom was a gangster. She wasn't. My grandma was a gangster. And it was me, my mom.
Well, that was the Italian side.
Yeah, my Italian mom. She was, she was the real deal.
Wait, was your mom was Susan? Was your mom Susan Lucci?
Susan Alice Joyner, but it's Damiani is the.
Oh, is that your grandmother's maiden name?
Damiani.
Damiani? How do you spell that?
Daimani.
Oh, okay.
And
Dasani.
So my shoes were really messed up, so we would have to buy 2 pairs of shoes.
That's stupid.
And so I would get like one really nice pair of shoes for whatever, and then for the most part,
just got cheap shoes.
We just got cheap shoes, and we'd have to go to. I'm not making any slags. There are, thank God for Shoe Carnival, but I had to go to Payless for the longest time.
Well, yeah, no, and you can get a decent pair of shoes like at Payless or Walmart or wherever now. Back in the 80s and 90s, they had shit.
Yeah.
Those things would fall apart like that. Fucking Keds and stuff.
And so Susan and I had gone to the mall, and she goes, Russell, I got to go run an errand. Go in there and pick out a pair of shoes. And she goes, just put the right one in the left box. They don't check them.
Oh.
And I was like, all right, Mom. Well, this particular day, they checked it. And they put me back.
So she had to buy 2 pairs of shoes.
Well, it gets worse. So they put me in the room where you go to when you get caught shoplifting.
What? They did that to you? How old were you?
I was probably about 12.
Fucking assholes.
And so I hear my mom come in. She's like, Russell, it's time to go. And the manager was like, Mrs. Cooper, we've got Russell, and let me tell you what he did. And keep in mind, the woman told me
to do that.
To do it.
Did she throw you under the bus?
She threw me under the bus. She said, he did what?
Well, it's better you getting in trouble than a grown woman.
You thief. Your dad did not, and I did not. We are going to take care of this, and I guarantee you he's going to live a lesson. The whole time she's looking at me going, And so
she was funny.
she was a blast.
Oh, you're funny.
She threw me under the bus at that time, and then we're riding in the car. She was like, "Listen, that was the only way I was going to get you out of there without getting you in any trouble. I know I told you to do it. I'm sorry, but I'll cook you whatever you want for dinner tonight. My treat." And I was like, "I want this, I want that." She goes, "Well, we're having pork chops."
Oh, you can have whatever you want as long as it's pork chops.
But I mean, that was just like that. I mean, and I've told this story on another podcast before.
Okay. Well, shit.
Right after the accident, we were all at home, and everybody was miserable. Everybody was stressed out. Everybody was hurting from watching me hurt.
Sure.
I was real combative because I couldn't go swimming. I couldn't play baseball. I couldn't play hide the knuckle with the girls.
All the great things that a kid enjoys, you couldn't do.
And I was being an asshole. And so my mom pulled me aside, and she ate me up, took me into her room. She dug her finger right in my chest. She goes, "Russell, I'm not raising a fucking cripple." And that was one of the most powerful things that anybody's ever said to me. And when I tell that story to people, are like, "Man, your mom must have been a real bitch."
No.
I'm like, "Watch your fucking mouth." No, she wasn't at all. She was.
Well, it's like her version of snap out of it.
Yeah, snap out of it. And, and there from that point on, I never.
Well, you are an amputee. Myself. You are an amputee. You're not a fucking cripple.
Yes, and she wouldn't let me. And so I never felt sorry for myself. I've never used my leg as an excuse.
Hey, an excuse for jokes.
It is great comedy. My mentor taught me that it's the way to go. And so I wrote it out, man. Yeah, I dealt with it. She basically was like, "You know what? You caused it. Yeah. It's your own fault. I mean, you were doing what you were supposed to do."
I mean, she's not wrong.
She's not wrong. So once I realized that, but it was just miserable. But I mean, so much. Looking back on it, so many funny things have come out of it. I mean, so many "Are you fucking kidding me?" moments came out of it.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I had known you a while. Casually through the Alamo Draft House. We were both there, and it had been a while because I just assumed, I don't know, I don't know, just to have you lost a leg, however people lose their legs. And I was like, we were sitting in the bar in Alamo, and I was like, "Hey man, how'd you lose your leg?" He's like, "You remember those three wheelers that were banned back in the '80s?" I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah." And then you told me the short version of the story. But I was like, "Damn, that's crazy." Because it was like a week after your accident when all the lawsuits started coming out?
So about 2 weeks after that, we were laying in the hospital room.
How long were you in the hospital?
I think for 2.5 months, 3 months.
Jesus.
I know. Something like that.
A lot of school. You missed a lot of school.
I missed the last 6 weeks of third grade and all of fourth grade. I was in a wheelchair just high as a kite.
And that's still why you don't know your times tables.
That's why I can't do math. You put a fraction in front of me and I turn into uneducated Stephen Hawking's.
Yeah.
My spelling is horrible. My handwriting is horrible. But everything else is fantastic, ladies. But I mean, it was just
except for the leg.
So many crazy things happened from it, and it was. I don't know. You were talking about this last night before we went and saw the movie, and which was a great movie, by the way. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and it was just. So I wish I could remember half the stuff I've forgotten about it, but it just crazy things happened from it that you just. I think if I would have grown up in any other family, it would have destroyed.
Yeah. I can't imagine if that had happened to me or my brother, how my parents would have dealt with it. I mean, it would have. I have no idea.
Oh, but like you were saying, to your point, we were laying in the hospital. I was all morphined up, and we were sitting there watching it, and you could smoke cigarettes in the hospital.
Yeah, it was the 80s
back then, and my mom's just sitting there smoking a Benson and Hedges, and. I'm just high as a kite on morphine and just, and 60 Minutes came on and they did an expose, three-wheelers, the next American death trap. And so I could just hear my mom cuss like a sailor. She goes, "Now you fucking tell us."
That's awesome.
And, it was just.
Yeah, just one of those things where it's like, well. So did you ever get together any conventions with anybody, any other kids that lost a limb on a three-wheeler back in the 80s?
So when I never really looked back. I mean, my life was kind of good until it started falling apart physically and mechanically with my leg. And then after I amputated it, I tried to call the Lubbock Amputee Support Group. They never called back. They never answered the phone. And so
must have been a guy answering the phone that didn't have any arms.
Yeah, and that really pissed me off. And so that kind of just set the tone for how I felt about other amputee support groups.
Really?
And I never knew one amputee before in my life. I've seen them.
They kind of stand out.
If the ones with legs do it. And so when I was in physical therapy to learn how to walk with my prosthetic, I was talking to my PT or a physical therapist, and I told him that I never knew any amputees. And he goes, I tell you what, I know a guy that's coming in tomorrow. He's an amputee, and I know he would sit down. He would love to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. And this poor guy, little bitty Mexican dude, Joe Diaz, was in Vietnam.
Oh, so he's an older guy.
His third day in country, got his leg blown off.
Just one of them?
Just one of them. And what they did back then is they put the leg on his chest and they taped it around
I've heard
him.
about that, yeah.
And he flew back to the medevac. And so there for like 20 minutes, he just sat there in disbelief in country. He was like, thank God the battle.
And they put it the stump side up so it's just bleeding all over his face.
I can't imagine how they did that.
I'm guessing, hopefully they put it the stump side down, but then he had a really stinky feet and he had to smell his own foot.
Or it looked like he was on his period. Or, I don't know. But he's like, I had to ride back to the LZ or the landing zone, just staring at it. And because that's what he goes. And thank God the battle was like right in the first part of the day.
Yeah.
It happened in the first part of the battle. So it's like that was my one and only combat story. And
so 3 days in, I mean, honestly, if at the onset of Vietnam, if they say, okay, dude, you're going to lose your leg, I'd rather lose it 3 days in than 3 months in.
Yeah.
Because at least you get to go home after that.
Didn't even get to go to a Vietnamese whorehouse.
Didn't even get to kill any gooks.
Didn't get to kill any gooks. Man. But so that was my, and it's just been a surreal experience. And I've always been funny, but after all this happened, my humor kind of took a twisted, sarcastic, are you fucking kidding me vibe. And so I kind of just dive into my leg, and then I dip off that, because as much as it ruined my life, and it's enhanced other parts of it.
Well, I mean, you have no idea where you would be had you have grown up with. I mean, you might be, an insurance salesman with a wife and 3 kids, or you might be fucking dead.
I think I'd be an asshole, because I was just one of those kids that wasn't afraid of anything. I wasn't afraid of my dad.
Yeah.
I was jumping off houses, off roofs, and
Well, you're a little daredevil, obviously.
Little daredevil. We were heathens, and I wasn't afraid of my dad, like I said, and so it really kind of it put me in my place. I learned very early on that I'm not
invincible.
I'm not invincible.
No,
and shit happens to anybody, anywhere, at any time, and it is what it is.
So, what? Just take me back a little bit. What kind of drugs were they putting a 9-year-old on?
Morphine.
For Maine.
Morphine.
For pain, yeah. Morphine.
Morphine is a soluble of heroin. And I can't imagine how good heroin must feel, because the morphine, and by the grace of God, forget about it. I'm not allergic to morphine. And I got to the point where I knew that I could have a shot every 30 minutes.
Okay.
And they're like within probably about a month and a half into it, the Dr. C pulled my mom into the hallway, and he's like, Mrs. Cooper, we need to have a talk. And so she goes, what's going on? And I can hear him to this day. He goes, we've got a little junkie on our hands. And,
Jesus Christ.
But
you were like
I said, it was every 30 minutes. And then, so after that, they took me off the morphine, and they put me on Demerol. They put me on every single thing. Black women.
Here, Latasha, give this kid blowjobs until he feels better.
That's my show enough shout out.
Shut up.
I love her. But no, I mean, they tried everything, and I developed what would become later on my addiction, because of just horrible suffering and pain. And, you know,
so you kicked it? No painkillers anymore?
I kicked it with my right leg. And, you know, it was hard. And, you know, but I had a wonderful family. Shout out to my sister, who's the only one that's still here with me. And my parents are both gone. But, you know, it took a lot of time and, you know, a lot of cussing, a lot of prayers, and a lot of
cussing
everything.
And prayers.
A lot of, you know, you're going to die, or we're going to kick you out of the family. You're not trying. And, but there, for the grace of God, go I, or whatever it is you want to believe. I was saved and my family just stuck with me. And if you're out there and you're suffering from addiction, if you're ready to quit, make the choice and go get the help. I mean,
I've
known, so worth it.
I've known a lot of, how long have you been clean?
Off and on, totally sober, about 2 years, year and a half.
So when I first met you, you were still addict. Huh?
I was struggling with a lot of it.
We didn't know each other well then, so I didn't know.
It's not something you go around and you talk about. But I had it.
It's like, hey, do you want some oxys, buddy?
I had it concealed from everybody but my family.
Really?
I thought that I thought I was so slick, and then they don't know what's going on, and because you're so out of your mind and.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and I made my restitutions or whatever. I went through AA and all that.
Oh, you went through the program? You did the 12 steps?
And it was horrible. It made me want to do more drugs just listening to all those god-awful stories. That's just me. It works differently for everybody. AA does work. But
I went to with a friend to Addicts Anonymous. It was specifically cocaine addicts. And those people told some funny fucking stories.
Yeah.
They've got some the coke people are very they've got a very dark sense of humor. Because I mean you do some fucked up shit when you're on cocaine, I think.
So I did IOP through Dovetree, and Dovetree is probably one of if you are struggling, seek out Dovetree. Shout out to Dovetree. Nice commercial for your
addicts in Lubbock.
Yeah, all you addicts in the surrounding areas. And so every Thursday we would go to Tech, and Tech has a big rehabilitation and drug center.
I know people that have worked with it. Yeah,
I should have brought a Kleenex.
Mutual friends. Oh, it's okay.
And so one of the first Thursdays that we went, every Thursday is when they give out the
chips.
The chips.
Yeah.
And so my dumb ass, there were all kinds of just like skinny, rail thin chicks walking around,
and you're like, hey.
And I just remember going, those must be the cocaine girls. Those must be the coke chicks.
They're the anorexia.
And so we were sitting there, and we're going to do this by groups, everybody. So they do the people that are addicted to coke.
Do they go alphabetically like, hey, for anorexia, B for
bulimia. And now we're going to do the ED. And I was like, Eric Dickerson, and the eating disorder.
Oh, eating. I thought you said ED, the erectile disorder.
Well, that's
erectile dysfunction.
And then all those poor ladies that I thought that were skinny and were the cokeheads. Like you just said, it was the eating disorder group, and I was never like, wah.
Not your fault.
But I always thought that was.
Oh my God! Do you guys know Karen Carpenter?
I just got on that Karen Carpenter diet, and it does work for a little while.
Well, you know, but it has bad end results.
Yes, it does.
Oh man,
deadly results.
So you are a funny dude, and you.
Well, thank you very much. I try.
Well, I know it's been cool to see, you get on shows and, from the point you started and building up your jokes and stuff. And I don't know, I've enjoyed it. And, I don't know, and especially considering, we're buddies, we hang out and stuff. And I don't even fucking think about the fact that you're missing a leg most of the time, but it's just how much fucking shit you went through to get here.
It really did save my life because, I had hit the rock bottom numerous times, but the last time that I finally hit the final rock bottom, I was miserable.
Sure.
And I didn't know how to be sober long term. I got up and I went to work. All my friends were married.
Sure.
So
it's a problem when you get to be in your 40s.
And all they wanted to do was hang out in their house, in their backyard, and cook. And no single women around to save my life.
It's not like there's a lot of single women around now with stand-up comedy.
Well, if I get funnier, maybe they'll show up.
Maybe.
And then so my mentor, Rafa,
Rafa is a lot of our mentor.
He saved me, and he brought me into this world.
He's like, come on, bro. Do some stand-up comedy, bro.
And he taught me.
I tell you the truth.
He sat down and he talked to me for about 2 hours at Jazz about being a stand-up comedian. You gonna be a comedian. And
he recognizes characters. Rafa's a character. You're a character. That's why I've always liked you. You're a character.
You are as well, and I've always been fond of you as well.
Well, thanks. I don't know. I'm trying to be more of a character. Somebody told me I had dad energy the other night. I'm like, what? No, I don't have children.
Well, I'm channeling my Weird Al, and I'm writing a song about your former boobies. Morgan used to have the greatest titties.
Well, that's why I love them now so much, because I don't have my own anymore.
And you have a joke about missing them. They're not there anymore.
Yeah.
And, you're not the only one that misses them, because, they jiggled when you'd laugh. And, I saw him writing Weird Al homage as song to your titties.
Okay. Is it going to be an original song or a parody of an existing song?
It's still in its infancy. We don't know yet.
All right,
so. Cool. Seek back, coming to the open mics and any showcases that we might be on. And I might have to get you to play it since I don't play any instruments.
Oh yeah, no, I can definitely. We can collab on that.
But no, it really the comedy really did save my life, because it gave me a direction. It gave me a great group of friends and
a few asshole friends.
And a few assholes, and but you know what. You can't have any.
Yeah, you take the good, you take the bad. The facts of life.
There are some Blairs in there and some Joes, but for the most part,
they can't all be Tooties, man.
And everybody's been. I wish we had some Tooties. And everybody's been real supportive and real welcoming me, and I assimilated no problem. Didn't have any of those issues with people being dicks, except for that one guy. And I mean, now I've got a life, and it's not where I want to be, but I don't know too many people that are.
Well, we're all trying to get somewhere, and I mean, for me, I've always enjoyed making people laugh.
Yeah,
I've always, but also catching people off guard.
Yeah,
too. Saying some outlandish shit that. And I've said so much stuff into microphones mostly. For recording purposes or for live audiences. And, I don't know where I was going with that, but it's a lot of fun. I try and be cognizant of the things, I say. I don't want to, say anything weird or shitty. And I have before. I've said things that have, hurt people's feelings or what have you. But, I don't care if I embarrass myself. You know what I mean? I have no shame.
You got to be free of shame. You got to be able to.
I've never had a lot of shame. I mean, I think being married to someone that I hated I didn't hate her the whole time, but I actually didn't even really start hating her until after we were divorced. But that tends to put things into perspective for you. I don't. I mean, there are things that I haven't talked about on stage or on a podcast that I at some point would like to, if I can figure out a way to make them funny. But, you've got a lot of jokes about your, the leg thing and
stepped on a bear trap.
You stepped on a bear trap.
Lost in the war on drugs.
I like your hokey pokey.
The hokey pokey, chainsaw juggling accident, shark attack, gang fight, all different kinds.
Yeah.
I don't know what that baby was doing on the railroad track, but nobody was getting him off.
See, that's a good one.
All different kinds of things. And, I mean, it's like Rafa said, you got to find something inside of you that's self-deprecating. Humor is the way to go, Russell.
Yeah. No, it is true. I mean, because I've had this discussion with a lot of the comics. It's always funnier to be the loser.
Yeah.
It's always funnier. If no one wants a stand-up comedian that's like, if he's a good-looking guy, you want him to be an asshole.
Yeah.
If he's a goofy-looking guy, then he can win a little bit. But you want your stand-up comedian to be the loser, to be the butt of the joke.
The lovable loser.
The lovable loser.
The
Have you heard about the lonesome loser?
The next year's champion, as they say.
Yeah,
the guy that doesn't get laid. The Skolnicks.
I hope that isn't always the case for me.
It wasn't always that way. Ladies, I am single.
I mean, I've dated a few women since I've been in stand-up. Met somebody right after I started. That was nice. She used to film my sets for me and stuff. You can hear her laughing in the background of some of my early videos.
Well, I can make a joke about that, but I'm not going to because we're having a great moment.
Oh, it's fine. You can make a joke. I'm still friends. Me and her are still friends.
Well, that's not why she was laughing.
Oh, she was laughing. I was making a joke about. I think the joke was about fucking her or something, and she's like laughing, like ha ha ha. You can find that clip on TikTok early, like 3 years ago. 2 years.
Can we still get on TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok is back up. Oh, President Trump saved it. Thank you, Lord Trump. Thank you.
King Trump.
King Trump. Oh, King Trump.
Man,
yes.
he's going in like Miley Cyrus, a wrecking ball, man.
Oh, he's got a project. He's got a big project planned for this year. It's called Project 2025.
I mean, DEI can't be. There's no more getting a job because of race, color, creed, speed, or sexual orientation. And
yeah, I know, right? So if I have sex with a trans woman, I'll basically just be fucking a guy because trans people don't exist anymore.
It's a brave new world.
It's not that brave.
Well, whatever that saying is.
It's stupid. It's a stupid new world.
But, and then if you want to see my excellent joke about Trump's cabinet, come out to open mics at Bar PM on Thursdays, where Morgan is hosting, or The Lantern on Wednesdays, where Laugh Hub City is hubbing in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll tell you my excellent Trump cabinet.
Yeah, seriously. If you're watching this and you have not come out to stand up, come out. It's so much fun. We have a blast. If you want to sign up, come out and sign up. Tell your friends, whatever.
I had no idea Lubbock had a scene.
A lot of people don't. And we're trying to get the word out.
And we go to Amarillo, we go to Midland, we go to Odessa, and
San Angelo.
And whenever we go, we are usually...
Yeah, we double the numbers.
We double the numbers, and we bring the funny.
But there are fun. There are some fucking killers everywhere. Yeah. I mean, we've got a show this Friday. If this podcast comes out before Friday, January 31st, it might. A show at CBD Plus / Anchored Cannabis and Vape, 1803 7th Avenue. It's near the Walmart at 4th and Avenue Q. We got Sergio Cervantes from Big Spring, Texas, hailing.
Sergio is hilarious.
Sergio's hilarious. He's headlining that show.
He was on the show with me at Two Docs last week.
Curtis and Sergio both on both shows. That kind of worked out nicely.
And I guarantee laughter. I mean, our comics are strong. And then people that come in for the shows that we go do that support us, I mean, there are some very solid, very funny, very good stand-up comics.
The open mics, you're going to get every level. You're going to get people that have done stand-up for the first time ever, like this dude that came out last week, this weird guy who was telling me that the Bible tells him that he should be allowed to do whatever he wants to his wife, whether or not she likes it or not.
Must be Baptist.
Church of Christ.
Oh.
Yeah.
Same thing.
He's a weird fucking guy.
They can drink and dance. That's the only difference.
What, Baptist? Or the Church of Christ, we don't drink or dance. I say we like I still am one. But no, I drink and dance. Poorly.
I do too.
But we get people that are on the mic for the first time at the open mics, and then we got people that have been doing this a decade.
Yeah.
Like Chris Heist. And all levels. But everybody can be funny. Everybody has the ability to be funny.
Yeah.
Based on we got this old guy, Dick Montana. And he does not like to be called Dick, but
Big
it's
Dick
funny.
Montana.
It's funnier to call him Big Dick Montana.
And God bless him. And he tells the standard, jokes that you've heard before.
Just the grandfather jokes.
Bless him. He comes out and he tries and he's doing something.
People like him.
And people dig him.
Because he is. He's got an affectation to him.
I talked to him last week. He's a Vietnam vet.
Is he really? That doesn't surprise me.
He's in the Air Force. He was in the shit.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy. But follow West Texas Comedy Collective on Instagram, on Facebook. Russell Cooper
on Facebook, Russell Cooper 286 on Instagram.
Yeah, Morgan Hyman Comedy across everything, TikTok, Instagram.
And if you're looking for an interesting first date or somewhere to take your old lady out to, come check out the comedy.
Or your old man. It might be ladies watch this.
Bring your mama.
Yeah, well, don't bring my mom. But
I'll take your mom is very awesome.
no, my mom's great. She just does well. Thank you very much for when you were telling her that joke, saying "sea sucker" instead of "cock sucker," because my mom could not have handled one of my friends coming into the house and saying the word "cock sucker." You know, I've told you, no, my mom, I've swore very few times in front of my mother.
Yeah. She doesn't like it. I didn't have that luxury. My mom was a sailor.
She's like, Russell, you fucking queer.
Her favorite was, fuck you, you fucking fuck.
Fuck you, you fucking fuck.
Yeah. So we were in New York, walking down the street, getting the funniest looks from
everyone we meet.
And I saw that shirt hanging in the store.
Fuck you, you fucking fuck.
It didn't have 3X or else.
Oh, damn.
And it was orange too, and orange was her favorite color. Not burnt orange, because fuck those guys.
Yeah, right. But we're going to wrap this up real quick because it's the Breaking Hyman podcast.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's the second time you've been on. You were on the audio only back when we were doing audio only.
If I would have done better, I would have wore a better Kiss shirt.
You're good, man. We're cash here. But tell me the story about losing your virginity, because it ties back to you losing your leg.
So a lot of horrible things happened out there on
17th hole.
The 17th hole. But also, I lost my virginity on that exact same hole. So
who was she? Was she a girlfriend? Was she?
She was my girlfriend at the time. And
how old were you?
15.
Wow. Did you wear a condom?
Yeah, she made me.
Ah, damn it. Well, you could be the father of a 34-year-old right now.
That's what's scary. That's what's scary. I'm around 30-year-olds all the time and be like, that's what Russell Jr. would look like.
Yeah.
But I lost my leg out there, and
you lost your V.
I lost my virginity. She took my flower.
Good for. Was it for first time for both of you?
Oh no.
She was a whore.
She was from Odessa.
Oh really? Odessa.
Odessa.
Whatever happened to her?
She got pregnant in high school.
Oh well, not yours.
By a cowboy.
Fuck him. Dallas Cowboy.
Might as well have been. I don't know.
Really?
But I got rid of her, and
now she's got a 30-year-old.
Now she's got a 30-year-old. Now she was kind of cool there for a little while. She was rough around the edges. Had a big, huge afro.
Was this a black girl?
No, it was a white girl.
White girl with an afro in the 80s,
90s.
Oh yeah, because you would have been.
Man.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you would have turned 15 in 1990. Huh.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. Well, you know what?
Good things come.
Hopefully, maybe you'll have sex again at the 17th hole.
I might as well go out there on the 30th anniversary or 40th anniversary.
40th anniversary. We're coming up on the 40th anniversary in a couple months.
If there are any ladies out there that want to help me remember the 40th anniversary,
they're just going to take your leg off and shove it up your ass.
Well, we can take it off now without any pain because it's a prosthetic.
Hey, love you, buddy.
I love you too.
Thanks for coming on. Breaking Hyman Podcast. Woo!
Mine got broken.